Week 15 of the fantasy football season. Here's a few running backs. I have a sleeper option this week. The first guy, Samaje Perine of the Denver Broncos. So Samaje Perine, he was a good offseason signing for this Denver Bronco team. Early in the year, he was splitting work with Javonte Williams, who still wasn't 100% with the knee, but now he's more the passing downs and third down back, running back over there for this Bronco team. Even Jaleel McLaughlin really hasn't been touching the football. So the last few weeks here for Perine, week 12 versus Cleveland, 7 carries, 55 yards, a touchdown, a catch, 11 yards. Week 13 at Houston, in that one, a carry, 1 yard, 2 catches, 5 yards, a down game. And then week 14 at the Chargers, he did work in the receiving game again, 2 carries, only 8 yards, but 5 catches, 36 yards. So this week in a game where they could be down early and often, I believe, is this Bronco team. If their defense can't stay up to par at a good Detroit Lion offense, it could be a long day for Samaje Perine and this Bronco team where they got to throw and he's going to play a decent amount of snaps. So right now, while he's available in 74% of fantasy leagues, he's a running back I have as a sleeper this week. The next sleeper is Chase Brown of the Cincinnati Bengals. I've mentioned Brown over the last few weeks, and this Bengal team, they're using Brown more than ever now in this offense. The first 10, 11 weeks of the season, we really see Brown touch the field, but the last 2 weeks, he's been an X factor for this Cincinnati Bengal team. Mixon needs a rest. He's been coming in and making plays on his 8 to 10 touches. Week 13 at Jacksonville, 9 carries, 61 yards. And then last week, what a game it was for him in week 14 versus the Colts. 8 carries, 25 yards, 3 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. So he's got burst, he's got speed, and he could do a little bit of everything as Chase Brown. A nice change of pace back and more of a third down back for this Cincinnati Bengal team. And him and Jake Browning have rapport as well, working with the second team all season before both these guys got into the lineup a little bit. So right now, I know it's a tougher matchup versus the Vikings that give up the 6th least amount of fantasy points to running backs in the season. But if you need a running back at the flex option or in deepest of leagues with tons of flex spots, I think Chase Brown could carve out a decent role once again. And he's available in 85% of fantasy leagues. And the third and final running back I have as a sleeper this week is Jerick McKinnon of the Kansas City Chiefs. So Jerick McKinnon last week, he got a decent workload, obviously, with Isaiah Pacheco out. But I think Pacheco returns in this game. McKinnon available in 60% of fantasy leagues. And last week, like I said, he saw the field, and he does what he does best. He's McKinnon. He has the knack for the end zone. We saw it last season where he had 9 touchdowns. So last week, 4 carries, 19 yards, a touchdown, and 3 catches, 18 yards. So right now, McKinnon, I think they got to use him a little bit more, even if they got to line him up as a receiver more than anything, because we know this team all season's had trouble finding guys consistently who catch the football and make plays. Besides, obviously, Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice, everyone else hasn't done much on this roster. So I think McKinnon, we're going to see him in the offense a little bit more. Pacheco playing or not, I think it's not the case. And right now, we know what McKinnon can do out of the backfield, catching the football, and even in between the tackles. We've seen some decent runs from him over the last couple seasons, available in 60% of fantasy leagues. That's a few running backs I have as sleepers for week 15 of the fantasy football season.